this episode ended up being a lot longer than we anticipated. So we are breaking it up into two separate episodes. Part one is going to be the 11.21 read down, and then part two is going to be the preseason 2022 read down. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody. It is time for According to Low Elo. It is patch 11.21.
Patch where
And
they disable all chat.
actually, before we even say anything, you know, they actually technically haven't even done that. It was like, I think there was so much backlash that they only did it in certain
Certain
servers.
regions where people were receptive to it. I'm like, you should have just done an NA. Legitimately, you should have just told people shut up and stop typing and done
Yeah,
it in NA
right.
because this region is really bad with toxicity, like really, really bad. And they should have just, I don't know, you can stick to your guns on that one. I don't see a reason not to, realistically. People don't know how to meet the fucking game themselves, so I think
Right.
that um, Riot doing it for you is a step in the right direction, and they should have just done it. I'm actually disappointed that they didn't.
I know, right? They should have just kept to it and not bitched out. Anyways, so we got a relatively small patch, and what we're going to do today is not only go over the patch notes, and we're gonna go over. They released the numbers for the PBE, the preseason update, so we're gonna briefly go over that. We already
Catch
like,
that at the end.
yeah, at the end we're gonna go over that. We already know a lot of the things that are coming, but we're looking at the like nitty gritty numbers,
Yeah, the
whatever,
stats are
the
out now, so.
important shit. So, um, looking at the picture here with the, I don't know what to call them, cliff notes, whatever, the preview of the patch. We got a few nerfs and a lot of questionable buffs. I've briefly
Yeah,
looked
they
at
are.
these before.
Okay.
There's
I
some
haven't looked at anything yet
there's
to
some
to to try to keep it fresh and
pretty fucking
whatnot.
stupid things you're about to see. So, anyways,
Just as a quick rundown, guys, we got Uction, Graves, Karthus, Misfortune, and Quinn taking nerfs, Jinx, Lux, Sion, Timo, Viego, and Zaya taking buffs.
and
And
then
then
some
some
item,
systems changes,
yeah,
so items and
runes.
runes. So we'll get there, guys. But let's start off where we always start with the
Uction
champions.
Uction is losing 20 damage at rank 5 on his E. I don't play this champion enough. I know we say this all the time. I don't know what you max. I know they say,
Q, I thought,
yeah, that's what I thought too, but
because you need it for wave clear, but then you go E second. I know you go E second right now. And I think this is gonna push E second as like the actual thing to do, because even here it says Uction's been steadily creeping up since swing into release. We're tapping down his signature moves damage to make the choice between maxing Q or E first, a bit more strategic. Obviously, they're like, hey, let's take some damage off of your maxed E, which tells you, okay, fuck it, I'll just max Q.
that
Like, yeah, we didn't know what to do, but you just gave me the direction.
that move is actually, or that ability is actually bullshit. Like,
Dude, we played against that guy who played Uction Bot, who he wasn't a great player, but like in like a 2v2 situation or 1v1 situation, he was actually really good. He could weave in and out with that damn thing, and it it pissed me off.
I guess that's the right move, is to, like, imagine if they got rid of the reset mechanic. That would probably kill him.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
nerfing the damage is probably the best.
Yeah, he doesn't do a ton of damage earlier. He plays like I want to say like most comparably damage wise. I feel like he plays like Kaisa, who doesn't do a ton of damage early, but towards the end of the game, like he's just gonna come. He plays like an assassin
Yeah.
mid to late game, whereas the beginning of the game he plays like a marksman, a very 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 weak marksman. Um, but then he like Kaisa. I mean, once you're in team fights with the Kaisa, you're not an ADC, you're an assassin.
The other thing about Ukshan is he's very safe, I think. Just because,
Sort of,
like,
if you
well,
know how to use the E.
or the, I was gonna say the auto attack, because you can get movement speed if you cancel the auto, because it does the like the 1-2 or whatever. You can either
Yeah,
cancel
yeah,
it to get, I think if you cancel it you get a shield, but if you get the double shot you get movement speed. So like every, you're just zooming around really quick.
yeah.
And
He's
then,
got he's got a little bit of aggro to him. He's more complicated than he seems to be at
mhm.
first glance. He seems pretty easy, but knowing when to go in is really key with him. Knowing when you can really pump out damage is really key. You really can't duel with him, and that's I think where where it's different. Where like a lot of ADCs you can duel with, which is why I think it kind of makes him more like an assassin. Like assassins, well, even assassins can duel each other, but
I mean, he was designed for mid lane.
no, he's designed for mid. But like he's the cleanup crew. He's
Yeah, you're gonna want
definitely the cleanup crew.
to pair him with someone that's gonna keep him alive. Like it's gonna be that much better. So I wonder if they're gonna like if they don't see any changes, maybe they're gonna nerf him to like put him more mid lane. I don't know.
Yeah, he also does really well with like if you put him in bot lane, he does really good with the damage dealing support. I feel like if you don't do enough damage, he needs someone to pump a ton of damage into him, and then he can
Yeah, like
execute. He can
level
get the last
2,
hit.
you hit level 2 before your enemy laners, and if you have like a brand that can E stun or whatever, and then
Yep.
he just zooms in, swings in, with the auto attacks.
Yeah, and even in mid lane too, he does not do that well with the supportive jungler. He does well with a damage jungler. That's at least that's the trend I've noticed in our games. I haven't been watching him being played in high elo, and I haven't seen anybody in high elo play him.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that there's another way to play him. But what I've noticed and seeing what works in our range is people that are playing damage champions that are really like a Xin Zhao who's pumping the damage off, and then he's coming from behind or coming at the last second to really skew that fight in his favor. But yeah, it's interesting to decrease the damage on the swing, but let's move down to Graves.
Before that, really quick, I totally forgot what I wanted to do, and we had someone that commented on our Spotify from last week. I totally forgot about that.
I want to read that first. I forgot about that.
So
Quick interruption, guys.
I got it on the screen right here. Last week we asked, what are you most and least excited for about the upcoming preseason changes? And William here responded and said he's excited to play Tank Rise with new defensive mage item and the new mana tank item, which we'll get into with the preseason at the end of the patch, and with getting a Ceres mana shield back. I'm looking forward to I'm least looking forward to the Chemdrake Soul camo zone. I completely agree that I think the camouflage zones on the map is probably going to be the stupidest fucking thing, and I hope they get rid of that.
I do agree that it'll be fun to see the older school Rise build, not completely old school or cooldown Rise,
Frozen
but
Heart,
the Frozen Heart Rise build, which makes him, he doesn't deal as much damage, but he just doesn't die.
He can still just pump out, like he'll do a little bit less damage, but
the thing is he doesn't fucking die.
He just
that's the hardest part about playing against that thing. It's like, how do you kill it?
He's able to pump it out very quickly. So
extremely.
But I mean, but then again, his abilities scale off mana. So if you have a metric fuck ton of mana, it's still going to do a lot of damage. So that's going to be interesting. I bet that's going to come back. But thank you, William. Guys, I don't know what our question. We'll think about a question during this episode and we'll post it. Yeah, respond. It's awesome. We'll read it. I'll try to remember next week at the beginning of the episode.
Anyways, back to Graves.
Back to Graves. Where we at? All right, we're losing
Graves
armor.
Taking a nerf. The E bonus armor decreased.
2?
Not massive. It's 2 points,
but
it's per stack.
Right.
So it's 2 points across the board. So levels 1 through 5. So
just before that, just think about that. So it starts at 4 now and goes to 16 armor, and it stacks 5 times. Right? Is it 5 times?
I think so.
5 times 16 is what, 70? 75? No, it's more than that. It's a lot.
35 to 80.
80. 8 if you're able
That's
to get
8 cloth armors, guys.
If you're able to stack your E that much, 80 armor. It's stupid.
That is that's almost the equivalent of a Randuin's, right?
Yeah, it's getting up there. I mean, to be fair, I don't think you're going to be able to use your E that much, considering Graves is going to, like, burst you really quickly. But, like, in a prolonged team fight, that's nuts. That's fucking insane.
Here's the other thing to think about is this is not a huge nerf.
Exactly.
Because 80 times, or 5 times 18 is 90. So you're only looking at a cloth armor difference. So it's not a huge nerf. It's just something to try to tamp him down.
300 gold-ish. So
yeah. So nothing too crazy. I think this champion's still viable, and I think if you're playing him in a lane,
that's even crazier. They hit him with those Q nerfs a few months back to kill a lane, but he's still.
And people are like, yeah, let's play him top and mid because fuck it.
Like at Worlds, he's like probably one of the best top laners, just because, especially into like other ADs. I'm assuming he's
Yep,
really good into Jace. You just stack armor and you don't die very
for sure,
safely. Yeah, like he needs
for
to get
sure.
hit again. So that's I don't think it's gonna change him much.
Nope, nope. But we'll
Moving
move down
down,
to Jinx
we getting a
with a
nice
little bit of a
buff.
buff.
Here we go. So her passive is getting buffed by 10%. That's
Uh,
pretty nice
yep,
considering that also it stacks every time.
yep.
So
It's
25% attack
real
speed.
crazy in a team fight where people start dropping off. You get the one, and then she starts shooting, then you get another one. She starts sprinting, and you get another one. You're like, oh my god, this
That's,
champion doesn't stop shooting.
especially if you're running lethal tempo. That's just going to
Oh
keep
my
stacking up.
god, it's broken. Yeah.
And then we also got her flame chompers are getting a 25%, a 25 range increase, which I don't think is that bad or that big. You
It's a
might
little
notice
helpful.
you might
There's
notice it.
a there's a lot of times where I played Jinx where you want to get those traps behind them, and they could just be at that make or break point range, and your traps land in front of them, and you're like, well, that was stupid. So it should help her out a little bit with setting up her own kill scenarios.
And then the mega death rocket is getting a cooldown reduction with 15 at rank 1 and
Fucking
then
huge.
that's big. 5 seconds at rank. So every at level 16 her ult's going to be
15,
up.
10, 5, yeah.
That's
I,
pretty big.
I, I, the 5 seconds at the end ain't that big. It's really the
Early
the
game.
level one that's insane
75
because
seconds, that's very
yeah,
short.
dude, 15 seconds is a massive difference.
Like
So
every
expect to see a lot of those rockets flying across the map because that's what Jinx likes to do.
Yep. All right, we moving on to Karthus, and,
Archie.
and he is losing a little bit of the mana restoration on his E. I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay. So this is
I
targeted
didn't even
towards.
know he had mana restoration.
Yeah, it's a passive. So when you kill a minion,
Okay.
you get mana refunded.
I think I probably forgot about that, honestly.
Though I believe so. It's like it's really good to use it with his Q because if you kill a minion, you get a refund. But I believe his Q costs 30 mana, and now they're dropping the mana that's getting back by half. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna hurt him because you're spamming your Q, and you're not
Yeah.
gonna get that much mana back. But I mean, oh wait, actually no, it's an early nerf. I'm
Early nerf and a
blind as
late buff.
shit. Late buff.
But what they're trying to do here is to tamp him down in the jungle a little bit. He actually has a pretty good jungle clear, which is rather insane for
It's well,
a champion who's pretty weak early.
it's tampering him down for lane, not jungle.
Uh, oh yeah, sorry, without affecting.
Yeah.
So I still think it's gonna affect his jungle, but
Oh, it is, but luckily you got a lot of mana regen with the jungle item.
yeah,
I haven't seen
yeah.
too many Karthus jungles.
No, but when I've seen him kicking some ass, and he doesn't have to even do anything. That's the
Just
crazy thing.
just hits
He
hard.
really just has to farm and then press R. Yeah, farm till 6, don't get ganked, press R. So if you guys are playing against Karthus jungle, or really Karthus anywhere,
Just gank him. Just
hit him
kill him.
early. Yeah, just he's got
Shut him
no
down.
mobility. His whole thing is he wants to be in the middle of the fight anyways and die. So if you can prevent him from getting gold, he can't hurt you later in a team fight.
All right. Keep going down to Lux. Now this is one of the two very questionable changes. Is you go ahead and read this. Tell me what you think.
Ugh. Okay, hold on. Let me start at the beginning. So the base attack speed per level is increased. The passive mark duration is adjusted. The E damage is increased, and the R cooldown is decreased. And I haven't gotten to the explanation, but why on God's green earth does she need a cooldown to her ulti? Remember that one time where they had the assist
It would
reset
refund.
mechanic, and then you could just fucking ulti every 5 seconds if you were able to kill enough people? That was stupid. So it says here, despite increasing her E damage in 11.10, Lux still isn't shining so bright in either mid or support. I want you guys to know 11.10 was like 6 months ago. So it's a little ridiculous that they've waited this long to buff her, but obviously they're scared of something, so they didn't want her to be overpowering in Worlds or in professional play, so they waited until they could do whatever they wanted. Um, it says we're taking this opportunity to buff her a bit while making her passive more reliable. So her attack speed per level, instead of a 1% boost, it's going up to 2%. So they're doubling her attack speed per level, which makes it sound like it's a lot more than it is.
Yeah.
The passive illumination Illumination mark duration extended if Lux's basic attack is already in flight to the target, or if R final spark is being cast. Basically, just means, and there's probably been situations where you start to auto attack somebody, and then you see the little illumination light fade before the attack gets there. You don't get the damage pop. It's just saying, look, if your attack is in the air, you're gonna get the damage pop.
Yeah, and same thing with her R, because her R will.
Her R, a lot of people don't know this, resets the illumination passive.
It procs it, yeah.
It procs it and resets it. It will put a fresh one on there. So use that to your advantage. A lot of people don't know that, and it's kind of hidden in the text of the ultimate. And because it's such a straightforward ultimate, people don't read it. It's like, hey, shoot your laser at them. Like, you don't need to read what it does. Shoot your freaking laser. You look at the E, the Lucent Singularity damage is getting a 5% AP boost or buff at all levels, and you're getting, looks like 10 damage also at all levels for the base damage.
Not bad.
And that's your main poke ability, so that's the one that she uses a lot in lane for clearing waves and whatnot, so just gives her a little bit more control. And here is the one. Are you guys ready?
Look at that right there.
This is so dumb. Her current ulti cooldown was 80, 60, 40, levels 1 through 3, respectively. It's now 60, 50, 40, and dear God, 60 seconds at level 1 is absolutely insane. That rivals the ulti cooldown we just talked about in Jinx. Like, that is so broken. So broken.
And just think, like, so by your level 6, depending on how fed you are, you're going to have a decent amount of CDR. So that's already going to be affecting that much.
Yeah, it depends
more.
what lane you're into, for sure.
True. Yeah, I mean, if you're playing mid lane, you're gonna it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna put Lux. We're gonna be seeing Luxes, I think.
Go Glass Cannon Lux. Yeah, I don't even have anything else to say about that. I don't know.
It's
Riot's been smoking some good, and I might want what they got.
I think this means we're gonna be getting a Lux skin very soon. if they're buffing her.
What, skin 50?
Yeah, skin 50. I don't know, man. Thresh is about to.
Thresh is, dude. All of a sudden, he's been getting a ton of skins. And the one thing I will say about Thresh is that a lot of his are they're really well made. I feel like ever since they did Darkstar, they've done a lot of like vocal line changing and a lot of movement changing that they haven't done with other champions that they've done that with. So like God, who, like, okay, so Kai'Sa, right? She's got a fair amount of skins by this point, and the only one where she's really different is KDA, and same with Ahri. The only one she's really different are the KDA ones, and the rest of hers are pretty much the same. And she's been around for a while, a lot longer than Thresh. I would think that they would figure out a way to change up some of her taunts and jokes, interactions, like the way the champion moves and speaks with her voice and whatnot. But hey.
All right. So Lux, play Lux. Gonna be
I highly recommend that. Even play at support and just go full damage. There's no point in not doing that.
If you
play
have
with
a 60-second cooldown at level 1 on your R, that's just fire it for no reason. Just do it. 60 seconds.
Play Lux Uction bot and just go bananas with the glass cannon builds.
Moving down to Miss Fortune, who is arguably one of the best ADCs at the moment.
Yep.
They are lowering her base mana by. I didn't know.
Why would she have a fraction in her base mana?
325.84. Yeah, that I don't understand how.
Why would you have a fraction?
You won't even see that.
No.
Okay, so we'll call it 326 because it's rounding up.
It's so dumb.
So Loot dropping that down to 300 base mana, not bad. But then they are increasing her W mana cost by 15, which is, I guess, the big deal. I mean, the main reason you take this is to get that out of that movement speed, but
also the attack speed's nice too, though.
It is.
The steroid is nice, especially when you're trying to take a tower.
If you're, as long as you're auto or alternating your double, is it double? What's her passive?
Double shot, double tap? Is double tap, double shot?
Love tap? Is it love tap?
Love tap.
So it reduces the cooldown when you're hitting different targets or whatever.
Double tap, I'm thinking Call of Duty.
But what I'm looking at for this is like if you when you hit W, you instantly get the move speed bonus instead of you're waiting. So like you're not gonna be able to. It's gonna be a little more strategic. You're gonna have to be a little more strategic when you want to just be like, oh shit, I gotta hit W for the movement speed.
You just chase people down with it. Like it it means a lot. 15 mana, especially when you're dropping her base mana pool, means a lot.
Dude, I just want to say, like, the movement speed she gets off this is insane. At rank 5, it's like 90 extra movement speed.
It's dumbass high for no reason.
She is zooming across the fucking map.
Yeah, she is.
I don't think this is gonna be enough to take her out. She's still very strong. It's gonna have to be her ulti. 'Cause her ulti does so much goddamn damage.
It does.
So I think they buffed it a few patches ago. I believe they increased the wave damage. So
Was the wave damage or the amount of waves?
yes.
I don't remember. They did something to it. Anyways, moving on.
Alright, moving on
play
to,
Miss Fortune. Keep
Yep.
playing Miss Fortune.
playing her.
Don't stop playing Miss Fortune. She's worth playing. Quinn, everyone's least favorite top laner.
They're dropping the attack speed. I
The
don't know.
bonus attack
I'm not
speed.
sure if you know how Quinn works when she has her where Valor like marks the target. So when you hit a marked target, you get a burst of attack speed for 3 seconds. So they are nerfing it later by 20%. Yeah, rank 5. I believe you actually max W just to get that attack speed bonus, because you used to get 80% attack speed for that quick couple seconds, which is pretty insane. That's why you're able to build her like lethality, and you don't need attack speed because you get that in her kit. But
Yeah, and also her W keeps her safe too. The
The-
range at which she can uncover shit.
it
is
is a
absolutely
very
insane.
very long cooldown though. I believe it's like 50
It is.
seconds or something. Like it's
It
pretty
is because
nuts.
it's a stupid ass fucking skill. And actually, they should just get rid of this champion anyways. But
They
hey,
should rework this champion. I know they technically
yeah,
did.
no, they did, but they need to like rework it because this champion. Remember, she started off she was a bot laner, and then they reworked it, and then she played jungle for a little bit, and then she's mired in top lane. She doesn't do anything in mid lane. There's nothing for her to do in mid lane. She gets duped on by assassins. She literally only plays well into tanks and in melee tops. Otherwise, she sucks.
So
She's not even good into Kale.
yeah, I know, right? It's so I mean, I guess 20%. Maybe this will make people not max it first or second. Maybe
But then what
third.
else do you max?
Maybe max Q for the blind. I don't know.
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen a Quinn in a minute, but
Yeah, she needs help.
I'm saying this right now. My next game I play, I bet there's gonna be a Quinn top. Anyways,
No, 'cause she's nerfed at this point, so there won't be. You're good. If this was yesterday, you might have seen one.
maybe. All right, actually, okay. I said there was 2 questionable changes. This is like, we'll say 2.5. This one is pretty insane. Scion's shield is getting a pretty fat increase with his HP scaling.
Yeah, it is.
So we're looking at 2% extra. That's maximum health. I didn't realize that was what it originally is. It's not. That's what it always was, but
Yeah,
that's pretty big. Considering you're getting
that's real big when you're late game and you have 6,000 health like Cho'Gath.
14% of your health is a shield. That's a lot.
It's insane. That's a very, very big amount. This isn't quite as crazy, but he's also not being played very often right now. In favor of Gnar and Jace. And I think Sion's a really good counter to like a Jace player. Like, sure, dude, beat me up, man. I'm just gonna come right back and beat the shit out of the wave, and then I'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll do the same thing. And you can kill me all you want. I don't need gold to win. I just need
all
beef.
you need to do is farm,
Needs
stack
beef.
HP, and then you're not gonna fucking die. Is it? Well, the other thing,
Yep.
I'm curious if this is like, because you always see lethality, like the Prowler's Claw build.
Yeah, I think it's also to help like deter that.
I was gonna say this is gonna promote it because you don't even have to. Or I guess okay, if you're stacking HP, but
2% on low health, they don't do shit. We have 2,000 health. 2% is nothing.
but you're getting a fuck ton every time you last hit.
Yeah.
I think you get 5 is it 5 HP per regular minion, and then it's like 10 or 12 per cannon.
I think so.
I'd have to look
No,
at
it might
the
be less. Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a while. No, it's still. I would recommend playing this champion. I think he's a very good team fighter. I think he offers a lot. And the fact that like him dying really doesn't mean anything.
right. So you play Scion. If you're playing weak side, just play Scion.
He's not going to be fun to play against with the new dragon.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
All right,
Moving on
here
to
we go.
Teemo.
I'll let you get this one too. This is actually fucking stupid. So go ahead.
Yeah, Teemo's getting some buffs, and it's kind of ridiculous, honestly. The cool cooldown is decreased, the blind duration is increased, and the missile speed is increased. The missile speed just means it travels faster from when you press Q. That is one of the things that sucks for Teemo, is that missile speed is actually pretty slow. So when you hit the blind, it takes a good second to get there. They're adding 1,000 units at missile speed, so it'll be there a lot faster. It'll be almost instantaneous.
I was on PBE just to test it out. It is very quick, very
Yeah,
quick.
it was very. I always thought it was very slow. It's slower than a regular auto attack for him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely needs something. Now this champion still sucks. I hate this champion. He's useless. But the cooldown's dropping by a second, and the duration is going up by a half a second.
3
at all
seconds
ranks.
at max rank blind.
Is that as long as a Morgana Q?
I think so.
I think it is.
So
Yeah,
I
good
think
luck. Good luck doing anything.
this is also, I believe, because you always see Teemos with Grasp of the Undying or like press the attack. I think this is gonna change that to more of like a full AP build-ish. I mean, you're sure you could probably have Nashers in there, but like I don't think you're gonna want to max your, because you normally, I think you max your E just for the on-hit magic damage and then
I think so.
the dot. But I mean, 7 seconds now, and at max rank, by level 9, you're gonna have a 3-second blind. Also, the other thing I did not know, and I think this has always been like this, his blind is, the blind duration is increased by 200% against minions and jungle creeps.
No, I don't think I ever knew that.
So just think of Teemo jungle just not taking damage because he can perma blind big buffs.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So I was thinking, I had no idea, and I just happened to look at the tooltip when I was playing as him on PvE, and it said blind is 200% effective, more effective against jungle creeps. I'm like, huh, okay. But,
yeah, get a turbo gank from Teemo.
I mean, you just hard farm, set traps all over the map, and you're good to go. Take phase rush. Take phase rush. I don't know.
Think how annoying that would be with him in the jungle, just with mushrooms everywhere, and you couldn't counter jungle him. That would be stupid.
But I mean, for at least for top lane, this is gonna be pretty nuts. Or I mean, or on the flip side, you could take him bot lane and just be an annoying ass fucking marksman.
Dude, he's such an annoying support in the bot lane.
Too.
He's not even that good as a support. He just blinds people, and then he goes and hides in a bush. He comes like us, and then he goes, ha, and he runs and sits in the bush until his Q's back up. It's the most annoying thing in the world. I absolutely hate it, and it's tilting as fuck.
Yeah, this is we'll see how this goes. This is very strong. For unwanted or unneeded, I don't know why they just decided to, light up one day and
People haven't been complaining about Teemo recently. There's nothing to complain about him because he sucks.
True. So play Teemo. Play Teemo.
Please don't play Teemo. I hate
great.
when I see Teemo happen in my fucking game. I'm like, well, this is a loss. And that Teemo always fucking sucks.
Alrighty, so we're moving down to Viego, who they're buffing. Not sure if that's a good idea, but
yeah, I'm a little confused here, but I guess you're going back to playing Viego.
Yeah, right. So they're increasing the AD ratio by 10% on his Q. Awesome. Yep. The self-slow while holding your W is down 5%. Astronomical. That's great.
Astronomical.
And then they're increasing. They still want you to go crit. So
yes.
100% crit chance ratio. So it's scaling. His R is scaling even harder now with crit.
Yeah, they're really trying to push you into Shield Bow, Kraken Slayer, and off of Divine Sunder.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm okay with that, though. I'm totally okay with that.
It's a little bit squishier, but I mean, he's gonna do they want him glass cannon for sure. So that's pretty big.
He should be. He should be a glass cannon like Yasuo Yoni. You gotta rely on lifesteal to stay alive and not tank stats.
So yeah, I'll for sure be playing him again. This is a pretty good, nice buff. All right, moving down to Xayah, and we are getting a small buff to.
She's our last champion on this list too.
Yeah, so 5 movement speed, base movement speed. That's not bad. It's decent. And then
She needs it too because like she's awful at chasing. She's terrible at chasing, but she's great at kiting.
right.
And so to have that extra move speed will help her chase. It will definitely help her kiting, but will sort of weaken the weak spot of being able to run away from her.
And then on top of that, they are lowering the cooldown. This is pretty big. For at rank 5, you're gonna get 2 seconds less. So
On double daggers, yeah.
double dagger of the Q, which I think this is like a super underwhelming ability. It's not like her W is good with the attack speed and movement speed steroid, and then of course the E, the pullback, is very strong. I think they're trying to promote you to level this up either first or second now. Extra 2 seconds.
I think he's.
think
I
you
don't remember. I haven't played Xayah in a while. I think he's still max W, and then I don't think the cooldown difference on E is really noticeable. I think it's pretty negligible. So I think you go W, Q, and then E. But you need that point E early. You have to start QE because you need that point to hit the stun. But then you start maxing W.
Okay.
And especially if you're playing with Rakan, you really want to max W.
think
Get
they're
the
just
extra hit.
she needs something like this, maybe a little bit more to compete with other champions like Miss Fortune.
Shits on her.
And wow, what's the other ADC that's being played a lot? Not Ezreal. I'm fucking blanking right now. Holy shit.
Um,
At Worlds.
she's being played a lot in Worlds just because people are picking Rakan. That's a good pick.
But what's the other champion? Am I dumb? Yes. Answer.
No, oh, Jhin. People are playing Jhin too at Worlds. I know that. But Jhin doesn't really counter her. Dude, who else are they playing at Worlds right now?
I know. I am just brain.
I just know it's Miss Fortune, like the Miss Fortune Ezreal all the time, pretty much. No one's really playing Kai'Sa. No one's playing Kalista. Oh, Tristana is one of them that's being played.
Tristana was being played, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
we're talking about Xayah, so this is gonna help. I don't think it's gonna be enough, but it's a nice little.
Yeah, it'll help keep her in the game, but it's not enough to push her to top favorability.
All right, so
But that's the end of champions. Let's move down to items. Looking at everyone's favorite gore drinker. Wonderful. There's a long paragraph here, and I don't want to read it to you.
Let's look at these stats, though.
Basically, it just says the whole point of gore drinker is to hit the well-timed thirsting slash to heal up, but it should be a fighter item, not an item that just anybody uses.
Yeah, so they want to get this out of the hands of assassins like Kiana and Talon and Zed. So they are, first of all, they're changing the thirsting slash, which is the active. It is changing from 100% of your total AD to 175% of your base AD. So it's not going to matter how much damage you build, whatever your base is, whatever it scales at level 18, it's going to be 175%, which is not bad, but it's I'd say it's a nerf, considering if you're like, you're building full damage, like after this, like lethality, you're going to have like 350 AD. So 100% of that is going to be on the active. So that's a lot. 175% base AD, I'm going to guess is going to be lower than that. Considering I think there's a lot of champions that have low base AD, but I'm trying to think of a champion that has really high base AD. That might be OP.
I don't know what Darius's is, but I would assume Darius is a high base AD.
They want champions like that.
They want your early games. I'm sure Olaf has a high base AD. He's an auto attacker after all. The other thing, and I didn't hear if you mentioned it, was the 150% health regen that they took off as well.
Oh, it's gone. Yep.
But they're adding 8% Omnivamp, which, as you guys know, is like my least favorite fucking stat in this game. So to me, that's a fat nerf.
I mean, it's still it's trying to help out, like I'm trying to think of a I mean, you're still gonna get the active heal, but it's also to help you probably sustain a little bit. Well, it's worse than, I mean, I guess it depends. I'll have to actually, this is a change that I'm gonna have to play.
I have a question. Just to kind of pick your thoughts. Uh, is there a mixed damage bruiser that can benefit hard from Omnivamp? Like I start thinking Mordekaiser, but he's more of a spellcaster as an AP bruiser, as opposed to an 80 damage dealer. But the 8% Omnivamp and the Thirsting Slash, it kind of allows him to be a little bit better than um, Riftmaker's Omnivamp. So I'd be curious to see how that interacts with a champion like that. I don't know. Now this is just kind of spitballing, and it may be crappy, but just kind of a thought. Like, do you think there's anybody that's not a strictly AD champion that would find this useful?
I don't think so. I think the
That's fair.
reason they have to have Omnivamp is like I don't think they're gonna make items. Imagine if they had to make items that were, oh, this is all physical vamp, and then they had items that were all magic vamp. So with Omnivamp, they just can just have one thing, and they just like slap it on everything or whatever. They slap it on items that give that. I think that's just the easiest thing to do, considering some champions also do true damage, so you're gonna get the heal off that. Um, Omnivamp is
Oh,
still
cause? Just kidding.
Omnivamp is still super weak though.
Yeah, it's just such a duty stat.
But I mean, this is probably gonna be a more I gotta feel.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, if you're jungling with like a gore drinker champion, the Omnivamp's gonna be nice to heal. And then they're also getting rid of the extra AD based on your missing health. So Olaf taking a nice hit. That's gonna affect him pretty good.
how do you feel about this item on your favorite on-hit champion, Katarina?
Ooh,
She starts spinning and hits a Thirsting Slash.
there's a champion that there's a champion that
Would be
benefits
interesting.
from both.
Yeah, that'd be
Bet you
interesting.
fucking see this built on her.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like this, maybe even built on like an Echo who wants to be in your face.
I don't
It
think
may not
it.
be the best, but just it's just kind of
No,
spitballing because people do some weird stuff, dude. There's some things that are like, why does that work? And you're like, oh,
I don't,
eh.
I don't
But
think
I could see Katarina with this item easily.
Katarina just because a lot of I could see this on a Kali too because a Kali has mixed
Yeah.
damage. I don't think
Yep.
Echo, um, just because I think Riftmaker would still be best. Just because I don't how much AD does Gore
Fair.
Drinker give? I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, so then you also got the Ornn item here, which is making it a little bit better.
5% more Omnivamp.
It's not bad.
5% is everything.
5% everything. Not bad. And then of course moving down to Iron Spike Whip, they are adjusting that
Base
same
AD.
thing.
Yep.
Same thing for the full completion of Gore Drinker. They are changing it to base AD. Moving
And
down
they're
to
also doing the same thing to Stride Breaker to keep it consistent. Base AD, except Stride Breaker's going to get an extra 5 points of damage. And with the Ornn item, an extra
same thing.
10 points of damage.
I don't
Um,
see people build this item anymore. It used to be so broken, but once
It
they
was
took
stupid.
off
It
the
took a
little
dash off, and it was like,
yeah.
oh,
So
nope.
this needs a little extra. Also, I feel like a lot of bruisers build this, and the mythic passive is attack speed. I don't think that's great for.
Unless your name's Darius.
Yeah, Darius will benefit off it, but like
Darius or Urgot. Urgot could benefit off that too.
but I don't. The attack speed does not feel like I don't need the attack speed. That's why I
It's
like
so
building it
small.
on him, but on Urgot where your W is just 3 autos a second, like that doesn't get affected by attack speed.
Does it still have the slow though?
Yeah, but it doesn't have the dash. The dash
But
was
I-
what was broken.
That's not too bad though if you're Urgot, because at least you could dash in with your E and then hit him with it to slow him, and then you're just pummeling the shit out of them.
And I just feel useless with like, oh, I
I
get
feel it.
12% extra attack speed on Urgot. I'm not gonna be regular auto attacking. I'm gonna be having my W on toggle, and I'm just gonna be right clicking. So, I mean,
That's
it's
fair.
not bad. Whatever. Maybe on Garen. I think Garen Stridebreaker would be good. Garen actually benefits off the attack speed.
It could still be useful on like Gnar too.
That's true.
Gnar
Yeah.
uses both items, I think, pretty well. It just depends the state of the game, because Gnar will benefit off attack speed or also benefit off being in the middle and just hitting the Thirsting Slash.
I
wonder
always
Kled might like it too.
think Kled's Gore Drinker.
Kled is Gore Drinker, but with the slow, and the attack speed because of his he's got that passive, that 5 very quick hit succession hit is really nice too. You add a little bit of attack speed to it
I think
and let
that's
it
a
reset
I think
faster.
that's a fixed attack speed though.
Is it?
Think
I don't know.
just
I
like
don't play
bump
enough Kled.
bump. Yeah, I don't play enough Kled too, and then when I run into a Kled, I get bent
You get shit
over
on.
and sent.
Champion, it's crazy because champion's actually really fun, but I just don't play enough of them because I don't play enough top lane, and I don't understand his matchups. But hey, that's the Gore Drinker. That's the Iron Spike Whip items, to be fair.
And we're moving on down to runes, and Conqueror is everyone's favorite rune, and they are nerfing it.
Nerf, hard nerf. You're not gonna see this on Ezreal anymore. I don't think. I think Ezreal goes back to lethal tempo after this nerf.
So we're
Uh,
losing. I mean, you're only losing one base damage per stack.
Yeah, but you're dropping the duration from 6 to 4 seconds, which is pretty massive. 6 seconds are already kind of short. I mean, it's long given the game. If you're in a team fight, it's long. But when you're poking somebody like Ezra likes to do, it's rather short. And you gotta get your Q refunded and land another Q and auto attack other people in order to stack that. It becomes a lot more difficult for a champion who doesn't want to be in your face
Right.
to start stacking this. So that's why I think Ezreal's probably gonna stop using it and move back to lethal tempo. Because I think lethal tempo is really good for that champion, anyways, given his passive.
Mhm.
Land a Q, you get attack speed buff, and you get lethal tempo buff, and all of a sudden you don't even need your Q. You're just pummeling fools with your auto attacks.
But
Um,
I don't see. I mean, obviously Ezreal is a spellcaster. I'm not. I don't.
he's a unique case.
I'm not like. I'm not too worried to do like baby auto attacks. You know. So
Yeah.
I'm curious. It might. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, the other champion that I've seen use this a lot is Jinx. I've seen Jinx with Conqueror and lethal tempo back and forth, but I think this cements her out of Conqueror. Like, hey, don't use this.
Yeah.
Use
Especially
lethal tempo.
also with the new buff that she has
Yeah,
extra attack speed on her
for
passive
sure.
and then lethal. It's gonna be nuts.
For sure. And Samira uses this too. But it's still going to be good on Samira because
Ulti.
she don't care what her
You're
attack
gonna
speed
be
is.
going in.
Help
You're
you.
gonna be
You're
in
gonna
the
be in
middle
their
of everything.
face. Yeah, you're gonna be attacking like rapid succession, using your skills, dropping it. Yeah, she'll be fine with this.
All right, moving down to Guardian, which I guess Guardian's broken. That they had to nerf it was OP.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not that
I
big.
don't use it all that often. I use it on like tank supports. I
They're
will
just
say it's
dropping.
been better than Aftershock lately. Like even on Thresh, Guardian's been better than Aftershock because you get that extra shield and you basically negate the attack that pops it. Um,
Oh, we're just
but
losing 20 HP.
yeah, 20 shield
That's not too
HP.
bad. Not too
Everything else
bad.
staying the same, so that's good.
Not worried about it. All right, so moving down in the Hell Shard, this is nice. They are increasing the HP you get per
Wow.
level, or at max rank, you're getting an extra 50 HP. That's pretty
Wow.
good. I feel like a lot of people don't take this.
Because you'd rather have the resistances right now.
Right, a little bit of armor, a little bit of magic resist.
Yep.
But HP is nice. So instead of 90 at level 18, you're gonna have 140 extra HP. Which again, is that just under a ruby crystal? Ruby crystal's 150,
Ruby
right?
Crystal 150.
So just under.
Yeah, as good as a Ruby Crystal by level 18. I feel like a lot of supports end up taking this or top tanks, so you get that extra Ruby Crystal. But the difference is you're not even getting the difference of an extra Ruby Crystal. You're getting basically almost half of a Ruby Crystal difference. So 200 gold value, more or less, maybe less than that because 90 to 40, so maybe 150 gold value. The Ruby Crystal's 400, so
I think tanks
not
are gonna benefit off
huge.
this, like for
Yeah,
the
your
late game.
Cho'Gaths and your
Scion.
Scions for sure.
Oh yeah. All right. All
But let's move down to the bigger one, Ingenious Hunter.
right. Yep.
This one is one that I think,
This is big.
yeah, I think was underused when it first came out, and I think is still underused. But it's really good on supports that take this, like your bards, your enchanter supports that go red second tree. Really, really good on. I hate it when assassins take this because it means that their Zhonya's Hourglass comes up more often. But you're looking at your item haste. pretty much. So not ability haste, but item haste. It's going up by an extra 10. And then you're getting an extra 1 haste per stack. I think there's 5 stacks, so they'll give you an extra 5 haste.
Yeah,
so you get an extra 15
So 50
at
at
full.
full stacks. That's
Yep.
fucking nuts.
Yep. So
So-
think about your hourglass being every 90 seconds. Drop that.
Because I believe 50 haste is the equivalent of 40 CDR. I think that's how it curves out. It's close to that. 40%.
Is it?
I think it's something like that. 50 ability haste is about 40% CDR with a conversion. I think it's around that. So imagine that on, and they say it right here, with Guardian Angel. That's pretty big.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about GA. 'Cause
GA's
that's got a
cooldown.
fat cooldown.
Is it 3 minutes or is it 2 minutes?
I think it's 2 minutes. I think it's 120 seconds.
Yeah,
It's
Zonas,
Derek.
Steric's
Yeah.
Gauge, Ghostblade, active. Because
There
doesn't
it goes, Blade.
Ionian Boots lower? Does Ionian Boots lower item? Or no, is it Summoners?
No, summoners.
Okay, never mind.
Actually, you know what? It might lower items. Some items on them say that they are affected by ability haste. So Genius Hunter works on all items, even ones that don't say they're affected by ability haste. But some items inherently do say reduce with ability haste. So Gore Drinker, reduce with ability haste. This also will reduce Gore Drinker.
No, it's just summoner. It's just Summoner spell haste.
Okay.
But I mean, this is still big. Like,
I think it's really important, and I think if you're playing a champion that's using a mythic with an active, not passive, with an active,
Chem Tank.
yeah, taking Genius Hunter.
It's good. That's gonna be good. This feels nice because the other ones in that row are there's
Ravenous, which they buffed also.
Ravenous, and then they also have
What's the movement speed one?
That one, and then the ultimate ability haste one.
Yes.
I can't remember.
Yeah, and I can't remember what it's called.
But
Ingenious, Ravenous.
So, Omnivamp is getting nerfed on Ravenous.
Oh wow! Here's a shitty stat getting shittier.
So per stack, it's going down by 0.3, and then at max stacks, it is down 1.5%.
This is, I think, really happening. They say because it's like the one that everyone uses in bot lane, which is also true. But like, they just put Omnivamp on Gore Drinker.
I think they're just trying to nerf healing altogether.
A little bit, yeah, which is kind of okay. Kind of okay. But that's the end of like all the big changes. You have some of your bug fixes, was just not much. Syndra spell effects getting a visual update for some of her skins. Singe's base voice lines have been remastered to sound clearer and cleaner. Kindred Wolf been fixed to animate with Lamb while emoting. Warwick now properly sends low health enemies who took damage while he was dead. Don't care about Aurelion Soul. Fixed the bug where Nasus Q did not deal damage to traps. That's stupid. Fixed the bug where Gangplank's Q parlay still healed for 20% instead of 10 from Fleet Footwork. Whoops. There's really not a whole lot on here that make a difference.
These are all things I had no idea that actually.
Oh, here's one that actually makes sense. The following abilities will now trigger spell effects such as Luden's Tempest or Mirror Mana when dealing damage. Blitzcrank's E, Camille's Q, Darius W, Mundo's E, Garen's Q, Hecarim's E, Alawi's W, Jax's W, Shyvana's Q, Trundle's Q, Vayne's Q, Wukong's Q, and Yorick's Q. Those are interesting. So if you had a tier, you couldn't stack it with using those abilities because they didn't. The way that tier worked, I had started to notice this.
Because they're auto attacks. They're basically auto attacks. All of those.
Yeah, these are all enhanced auto attack abilities. And so the way that the tier worked was it didn't work on these kinds of abilities. If the ability didn't directly do damage at cast, it didn't work. So they fixed that, which I think they really needed to do that. And I'm glad they did.
That's nice. So that sounds pretty good.
And then you got your Steel Dragons coming up in terms of skins, which I think the Thresh one looks fucking
of course you do.
Sick.
Does Thresh need another skin?
The Yasuo one looks sick. Does Yasuo need another skin?
No.
He gets one every almost every other skin. Kaisa hasn't had one in a little bit.
She needed it. Karma definitely did not need a skin. I feel like Karma's already gotten 2 skins this year now.
Did she? What else did she get?
She had Ruin Karma. I believe.
Oh yeah, that's right, that's right.
But
The
hold
other
on.
one I like is the Volibear.
Yeah, the fucking Prestige one looked insane.
Yeah.
That mask on the Prestige one looks fucking beautiful.
Yep.
I'm
And
about
then
that.
here's a couple chromas that I like. The Fey Dragon. I think Fey Dragon Ash is so fucking cool, and she has some of the most cool chromas that I've seen in the game. The Ember Claw one, fucking badass.
Yep. Fey
And
Dragon
the Eternal
ass.
Dragon brand, fucking badass. But that's it for the patch.
Yeah. So we'll quickly move over